Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Wendy Sellers, the HR lady, and JC. Hey, JC.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hey, you know, all this talk about sled dogs, I couldn't help but pull out some stats from the old book, Wendy. Did you know sled dogs in long-distance races like the Iditarod, they can burn up to 12,000 calories a day. That surpasses Olympic marathon runners. And this supports their extraordinary endurance, allowing them to run up to 100 miles or 160 kilometers daily in harsh, icy terrains. And if we think about that in the workplace, that mirrors how employees, when given proper resources and support, can achieve high productivity and endurance. Back to you.
I love it. Thank you so much. Dr. Lucille, did you know that?
I did know that. Yes, I've done a lot of research into sled dogs before we got involved. And the amazing thing to me is that these dogs live so much longer than their counterparts who are kept as pets. They're trained to be professionals. They are athletes. Their diet is so strict and they're maintained so beautifully. Some lead dogs have lived. Susan Butcher's lead dog lived to be 18 years old. You don't
see
breeds living that long. You know, it's usually 12, 11 years, and that's maximum. And if we can get them to live longer, let's do it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Animals are our life and sometimes our sanity too, or sometimes the opposite as well.
Yeah. You know what a 3-dog night is, don't you?
No, what's that?
Well, you know, I'm sure you've heard the phrase before. It's when it's so cold, you need 3 dogs to keep that bed warm. And believe me, we've had our heat go out and we've needed them in the house to keep us warm.
I love it. Hey, tell us a little bit about your experience and why did you end up being an executive coach?
Oh, well, you know, my doctorate is in labor education and human communications. And when I worked with people in labor unions or any type of capacity as a leader, communications was the key. So by taking those 2 majors, I was able to really work with people on the job. How do you communicate? How do you connect? How do you get this job done? How do you not burn yourself out? And how do you find that work-life harmony that we all seek? Because I gave up on work-life balance a long time ago with technology. That's pictures gone. That sailed. But we can find work-life harmony. We can find a way to enjoy our lives, you know, to earn a living and build our career. And that's the heart of where we're going with this book. You know, I wrote the book because the leaders I coach, they all want to their leadership legacy. Your leadership legacy is that team you leave behind you, this team that you develop. A good leader develops others, moves them up so they can move up. And that's part of the job of a role model and a mentor of a leader. And I wanted to help them out, to give the people I coached a tool to give to the people who want to move up so they can do it on their own. Self-coaching is so important. And the way you learn, we talk about instinct and we talked about intuition. Well, where does that come from? That comes from our experiences. Well, how do we get our experiences? By living our lives, right? And studies give you documents, give you events that you haven't been able to live through. You can read about them. So I figured I'd write case studies. These are real events that I went through and share them. And then I added some of the insights from some of the experts in our fields. We've got so many good people out there. So I added their comments on how to deal with these events and how to bring it about so you can succeed, so you can be that winner and use your instincts well.
Doctor, I was doing a little bit of research into all the amazing things behind your name. And I'm not sure if what I found is accurate or not. I'd like to throw this out there and please correct me if I'm wrong. But I found that you do hold an interdisciplinary Doctor of Education with a second major in human communications from Rutgers University, where you were the first woman accepted into the labor education program. Is that true?
Oh, that's true. They had to build a bathroom on the site for me.
Further, your career began as an on-air radio newscaster before transitioning into your role as one of the world's most premier executive coaches. Did I get that one correct as well?
Of course, that's accurate. We don't brag.
I love it. JC's in the radio industry as well, if you can't tell by his voice. Or was, I should say, his sidekick, which is why I cannot do this podcast without him. So thank you, JC, for being my other partner.
It's my pleasure.
Here.
But let me tell you, though, the first woman accepted into the labor education program.
That is amazing.
Yeah, wrap your head around that for a minute. Wendy, go ahead. I know you've got a question or two based on that.
I'm just like, my mind's blown. We could do a whole other podcast on that, especially today, 2024, with everything about, women power. We're trying to fight to not lose it and everything. And wow, what a time for you. So I just got to say, I bow down to you on that. Congratulations. And thank you for breaking through the barriers for the rest of us.
Well, life moves on, and you just take every chance you get to enjoy it and to find more and to take those risks and to learn what you can do and what you can put out there.
I'm just blown away that you were the first woman accepted into the labor education program, and that was, 6 years ago? I mean, you're not that old. You're fairly young, Doc. Let me tell you.
Oh, aren't you a doll?
Rutgers. What are you doing? No, I'm kidding.
That's amazing. Honestly, congratulations. And thank you so much for being on our show. We're going to wrap up episode 2 of 5 of this session, and we will be back shortly to talk more to Dr. Lucille Madalena about her experiences and maybe even share some success stories, no names, of course, of your executive coaching. Chat soon, everybody.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.